Dear Diary, you wouldn't believe what I did today. So they used to call me crazy when I was little. They used to call me lazy. They used to call me everything under the sun because I had ADHD. But growing up in Haiti, you're just considered a bad child, right? And it's not even about growing up in Haiti, it's just about not having the information, not knowing, because I didn't know anything about ADHD until a couple years ago. So growing up for me was kind of difficult, not in the sense that I had a bad childhood. Absolutely not. I had an amazing childhood. What was difficult for me is the fact that I didn't know that there was something wrong with me. Um, and again, I don't want to say things like there was something wrong with me because there isn't anything wrong with me. I'm just different, right? It's just the choices of words. I don't know. But growing up, um, I was always getting into trouble. So I was kind of like a tomboy growing up. So when the boys would be outside playing soccer, I would be outside with them playing soccer. Um, Fights, you better believe that I was the one fighting. I was the one starting fights. I was the one beating up kids in the neighborhood. I wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of anything. And it's funny because my sisters, because growing up in Haiti, we didn't have electricity 24/7. So at night, let's say we didn't have electricity and my sisters had to go to the kitchen or somewhere, they would be like, Nori, come with me. And I would be the one going with them. Also, like if they had maybe a kid in the neighborhood or at school that was messing with them, they would call me. I remember perfectly when I was in middle school, um, my group of friends, there was this girl, I think, okay, so in middle school, I was already living in Florida, in the States. So in middle school, my friends, they were in summer school. Again, like I said in the first episode, I had ADHD, but I was always a straight A student. So I didn't have to do summer school that year. But my friends, they had to do summer school. So there was this girl, this new girl that was, I guess she was bullying them and everything. And they're like, this girl, she's bullying us and this and that. And I was like, what? Okay, I'm gonna come to the school. It's like, I'm not even in summer school. I'm not even supposed to be there. But I came and I'm like, where's that girl? And then they showed me her. And I think she was Brazilian or something. So I walked up to her and I was like, I hear you messing with my friends. If you're gonna go through them, you gotta go through me. Oh man, me and that girl, we um we just started off on the wrong foot because the following year when school started, there was some more drama between us and we ended up fighting. Oh my God, I'll explain that after. But having ADHD, I'm going to tie that into this sense of fairness. We love to make sure that everyone is treated fairly and that there's a sense of fairness all around. So if there's something that's being done or, someone's being mean or bad, we love to stand up for those that do not have a voice. So I thought that was just my personality, but after doing research, I realized that this is also a ADHD personality trait. So I went to the school and I told the girl to, pretty much back off and to leave my friends alone. And I think she got the memo, right? Because she never bothered them after that. And she was actually trying to be friends with them. Let's rewind back to elementary school in Haiti. So there was this boy, like we were literally friends. We were friends. I don't remember what happened, but he was a very chunky, chubby boy. Like he was big. And I was skinny and tall. And I think something was happening in class. And he kept bothering me in class. Bothering me. And I'm like, you know what? I'll deal with you at recess. So at recess, while he was playing basketball with the boys, I snuck up behind him. I dragged him by his uniform. I dumped him on the floor and I got on top of him. I started beating him up and they had to come drag me off of him. And this ties down to ADHD and also anger. Like when we're mad about something, we're not gonna feel at peace until it's resolved. Like the thoughts are gonna go through our head over and over and over until it's resolved or until something else takes over our head. But I beat the crap out of that boy. And I'll see if I can find a picture and I'll post them. I'll block his face though. And he never like bothered me until this day. Like I'm in Toronto and he lives in Quebec. We don't talk anymore, but like I'm sure because we just lost touch or whatever. But he became my best friend after that. He became my best friend because it's like, oh, this girl, she's not afraid of anything or anyone. So when it came to my siblings now, every summer we used to go to my grandma's house in the province. So in Haiti, there's the capital, which is Port-au-Prince. And during the summers, we would go to the province to like Cap Haitian and other Cap Haitian and Port-au-Prince, but mostly Cap Haitian. This is where my mom's mom lived. So we used to spend the summers there. And my aunt, she was sweet, but she would be so quick to give us a spanking for any little thing. So I remember one time we were out playing in the yard, and then there were some kids in the neighborhood, in my grandma's neighborhood. Well, we weren't like in my grandma's yard. We were like out by the forest because it's like a rural area. So there's rivers, streams, trees, everything. So we were kind of like in the forest type of area near the trees where the stream was. We were playing there. And then there were some kids that were bothering us. So there's this thing like kids that come from the capital versus kids that come from the province. It's like we talk different, we behave different, and we have different experiences. So technically, we're better than them, quote unquote, right? So they used to hate that. So they would try to pick on us every time we would come just to start fights. And guess who they would put in front to beat them up? Me, my older sisters. And mind you, I was the youngest sister. My older sisters, they would just push me in front so I can go deal with the situation. So obviously I would be fighting and I don't stop until I make sure you feel that. My aunts, who does not play, she would take a branch off the nearby tree, strip the leaves off and go wah, 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 and just like beat us till we just run. We would just run back to the house because, yeah, she did not play that. She's like, you guys are not going to be out here fighting. But it just goes to show that, I guess fighting and like being gangster was my dopamine back in the days when I was younger. And that's not even like everything. Like when we would be outside, like my parents would be like, okay, you guys are not allowed to be outside playing soccer in the streets with the boys. So my mind had to come up with a different alternatives because I still want to be outside playing soccer, but maybe not in the streets. So I told them, because in Haiti, like the roof, the roof is flat. Like you can go on top of the houses and just play up there. So I was like, okay, the neighbor behind us had a very big house and the roof was very flat. So we're like, okay, we're going to play there. Okay. And the reason why we're going to play at the neighbor's house is because my house was nearby, because the houses are very close together. So we play soccer at the neighbor's house. So when my dad is coming back from work, somebody's keeping watch. Okay, somebody's keeping watch because we're on the roof, so we can see when the cars are coming. So someone's keeping watch. When my dad is coming, we would just climb on the window because the windows had like metal guards on them. So from the neighbor's house, we would climb up the window to go to my roof and then go downstairs from my roof, go downstairs into the house because we had stairs leading up to the roof. So that was the plan. And that's exactly what we did. We played soccer every night on the neighbor's roof. And because everything is made of cement, like they weren't hearing any sound from us playing upstairs. So, and then as soon as someone say, "Dad is coming," bloop bloop bloop, everybody climb the gate, climb the the window, get inside, sit down on the couch, act like nothing was happening. And a lot of these crazy ideas always came from me because I was the one with the ADHD brain. And I feel like it made for a great childhood, you know? It made for a great childhood. Getting into trouble with my parents for things that we're not supposed to do. And also like ideas that my brain came up with to make sure we don't get in trouble. Okay, so we weren't allowed to watch TV during school days. And we wanted to watch TV during school days. So what we did is, because back in the days in the 90s, the TVs were like these big, bulky, square TVs. And pretty much as soon as my dad would come home to know that if we were watching TV, he would touch the top of the TV. And if it was hot, we would get in trouble. So what we decided to do was get like a wet towel and we would put it on top of the TV the entire time. Like it had to be super wet the entire time. Not dripping wet where we'd get into the TV, but put the towel on top of the TV and then watch TV. And when dad would come home, he would not know because it wasn't hot to the touch. And again, someone's always have to be keeping watch. Like we knew when daddy would get home, but somebody have to keeping watch. Like, okay, is there to let us know. So eventually though, he did catch on to it and realize that we were watching TV. So the next thing that he did to kind of put a stop to that is that he cut the TV plug. So let me show you. So basically, this would be the plug of the TV. So he cut it. He cut it right here. It was like, okay, you guys are done. No more watching TV because I cannot trust you guys. So that's done. So my brain was like, bet, okay? So what we did was we took the plug that was cut and you see that there's a line in the middle, right? So we split the line and we exposed the wires. We exposed the wires and then we put these two wires inside the socket and it worked. Was it crazy? Yes. Could we have gotten electrocuted? Yes. But did we watch TV? Also, yes. So it just goes to show that like our ADHD brain is so creative and we think of things that no one else thinks about. I could be sitting here and have 1,000 ideas on how to solve one problem. And will they work? Most likely. And it's just crazy that no one can really understand that, where do you get all these things from? I don't know where I get them from, but my brain just comes up with all these possibilities and ideas and stuff like that. But growing up, that's how things were. And there's a lot more stories that I could talk about. And I can recall, also growing up, I can recall the amount of time that I ran away because I got in trouble and was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live here anymore. Um, I just left. I just left, and I would be walking and walking and walking. I'm so lucky that I never got kidnapped or anything like that. Um, I would start just walking and leaving like the neighborhood and everything. And when I get to the main road, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't have money to take a cab to go anywhere. And where am I going to go? Like, I walked one time, like, all the way close to the airport. And then I'm like, where am I going? Where am I going with no money, no water, no food, no nothing? So I just went back home. And yeah, I mean, my parents really didn't notice any of these things because we always used to be outside playing. So they would think that we're just outside playing while I'm all the way in Timbuktu. So I'm just grateful that nothing bad ever happened. No one kidnapped me. Nothing crazy ever happened to me. But yeah, so that's why they used to call me Marie La Folle growing up, because I used to do just the craziest things. And people were like, but I always used to get in trouble. I always used to get a spanking from my parents, from my dad. And it never changed anything. I was still being bad, still being me, still being Nori, you know? But now growing up and having this diagnosis and understanding this is why your brain works the way it does, this is why you behave that way when you were a child, everything just made sense because I thought I was just crazy. But I'm not. I just have ADHD. So there's so much more to talk about, so many stories, so many cute things. Like even my son was just telling me, how come you never told us that story? I told him, subscribe to my channel and you'll hear more stories. So yes, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment. If you have a similar story, drop it in the comment below. If you have something you want to talk about, let me know. I'm interested. This channel is not to be like an ADHD education type of channel. I'm sure there's many other channels out there like that. This is a Dopamine Diaries. I'm just explaining my experiences, my stories, the things that I learn about ADHD and how I can relate them to my experience. So yeah, this is just a fun space to do all of that. I will be throwing some little things that I'm learning along the way because I'm still new to this whole ADHD thing. So things that I'm learning, I will put them in there, like object permanence and the thing about the sense of fairness. These are things that I'm learning. So I will put them in the videos, but this is not like an ADHD education because I'm still learning and I'm just speaking on my experiences and the things that I realized were because of ADHD. So follow me on my journey. I hope you will come back for a next video. My next videos are probably going to be about my trip that I'm going to be taking. Yes, so I'll see you in the next video.